Good morning, everybody. This is Justine Wettschreck, Director of News and Information, and I am talking to a very special guest this morning. I am here with Justice David Lillehaug, and he is here with the Traveling Oral Argument Program from the Minnesota Supreme Court. This is the 40th time that they've been out and about, and the first time, as far as I know, that they have been in Worthington. So good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be with you and getting ready for oral argument at Worthington High School.
I'm so excited for you guys to be here. This is so cool.
Well, I'm especially delighted to be in Worthington because I grew up in Sioux Falls. And
like the enemy. That's what they said last night.
Well, we could see Minnesota from our porch almost.
This is so neat. So can you tell, before we're going to talk about you, but first I want you to tell everybody just a little bit briefly about what this program is and what you guys are doing today.
We like to get out and about to greater Minnesota and have real oral argument in real cases before high school students. We think it's beneficial for us. We get to connect with people all through Minnesota. We think it's beneficial for the community and especially for the high school students who get a chance to see the court in action. We go to one metro area high school every year and one school in greater Minnesota. This year it's Worthington, but it won't just be students from Worthington High School. We've got students from Murray County Central, from Laverne, from Adrian, Ellsworth, Slayton, and so on.
Wow, that's so cool. Now, have you ever had a chance to, well, you get to talk to the kids afterwards, right? You get to do like question and answer stuff with them?
Yeah, what happens is the gavel comes down and we have an oral argument just like it's in our courtroom in St. Paul at the Minnesota Judicial Center, but then the fun part is after it's over. We'll take our robes off and we'll go out on the stage and we'll answer questions from the high school students. Now, they won't be questions about the particular case that has just been argued because,
just
of
about
course,
what you do.
Yeah, it's about what we do. It's about how we decide cases. It's about our backgrounds. Students ask the most interesting questions. I can't predict what all of them are going to be.
Yes, they do.
But I always think we benefit more from that exchange than do the students.
Well, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you? You said you're from Sioux Falls, and you told me when we were having a chit-chat via email that you actually dated a girl from Worthington. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, I grew up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I was a band geek and a debate nerd. And on the debate team, we debated Worthington High School. And they had a lot of fun, smart students, and I ended up dating one of them in college. It didn't work out, but it opened the way for me to meet my wife now of 32 years.
So it still worked out kind of.
And the Worthington native ended up marrying one of my best friends, so it all worked out. It's just terrific.
Fair.
I love this area of the state. I especially love this area at this time of year with the blue stem prairie going brown and the corn drying in the fields. And for me, it's pheasant hunting season. I love to pheasant hunt.
Oh yeah, the opener's coming up just in next weekend.
And you may have a few visitors here, I understand.
Yes, we do. We have all sorts of interesting visitors these days. Today we have the Minnesota Supreme Court. We got the governor showing up. It's just visitors all over.
What
all the
an
time.
Abundance of riches, huh?
Everybody wants to be in Worthington. It's the cool place to be.
Well, I not only did I want to be here, and I'm delighted that the court is here this morning, but I've marched in the King Turkey Day Parade before, and I'm rooting for paycheck the next time around.
Well, that is awesome. Now, I understand that, and maybe you need to explain this to people a little bit. When it comes to elections and Supreme Court judges, you're appointed, but you also, every so often, need to be on a ballot.
Yes.
So can you explain to people how that works?
Well, first of all, I came to the court directly from private practice.
Okay.
I've been a lawyer at a major Minneapolis law firm, and then before that, the United States Attorney, the chief prosecutor, federal government's chief prosecutor for Minnesota. I was appointed when Justice Paul Anderson retired. There's a mandatory retirement age, and I was appointed by Governor Mark Dayton upon recommendation of the statewide Judicial Selection Commission. So I applied, went through an interview, had a very thorough background check. The law is that the governor may appoint a justice, but then the justice stands for election at the next general election, which in my case is this coming November 4.
Okay.
Election day in November, people will see my name on the ballot, and it will have the word incumbent next to it. Now, there will not be any political party affiliation, though. Judicial elections are nonpartisan, and in my judgment, they should be nonpartisan.
Sure.
We should not be mixing politics and judging. The political branches are the executive branch and the legislative branch, but I think judges need to leave politics at the door when they take the oath and go sit on the bench.
Well, that works the same way. It works with the same way with at the Supreme Court level than it would at like in the Fifth Judicial District right here. Is the same way? There's
works exactly the same way,
and then they need to run also. So it also works that way. So basically, you're up for election this year.
I am up for election and working hard, getting around the state. But the best thing, I think, is to do a good job and to decide cases on the basis of legal precedent and legal principle, not get involved in the political back and forth, the rat-a-tat that you see in partisan offices, and just hope to do a good job and hope that the voters recognize that.
Well, we are very interested to see what happens with this court case today. It's going to be very interesting to see what questions the kids have for you, and we're excited to see if anybody is interested in watching this. They can actually watch it on the local access channels and stuff like that, so they can sure do that. And we'll look for your name on the ballot on November 4th. So this is just going to be a fun day.
Really looking forward to it and looking forward to the dialogue with students. And then after we're done with that dialogue on the stage, we're going to split up and we're each going to go speak to a couple of classes. And I think I've got algebra and English, so I've got
good subjects for you.
I've got to. They were good subjects, but I've got to find ways to connect the work of the court to those two subjects.
Ooh. Oh boy. Well, I'm going to leave that one up to you. I'm glad I don't have that problem.
We're working on it.
All right. Well, thanks for your time today. We're sure going to have fun. Well, I'm going to have fun anyway, seeing what happens with the rest of your day. And we sure appreciate you stopping in this morning.
Thanks, Justine. This was fun.